You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Strong opinions and your phone calls. Expect it here. CBS Sports Radio.
Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live. SEC, ACC, and Big Ten coverage like no other. Subscribe and like us.
Healthy, pest-free spring lawn with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach and local expertise will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 866-946-5956 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
Your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year long and your DFS payouts. The only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
At Jewelers Mutual, we're a little obsessed with jewelry. Obsessed like auctioneers with talking fast.
50, we're going to
pop stars with auto-tune. And dentists with asking questions.
How did he propose?
After they've put their hands in your mouth.
Great.
Yes, we've made jewelry our obsession for over 100 years. We love it so much, we named our kids Ruby, Amber, and Opal.
Venti soy latte for Opal?
At Jewelers Mutual, we insure jewelry and only jewelry, which is why people who are also obsessed with jewelry trust us with theirs.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live. Or catch the instant replay.
Take the road less traveled in the newly redesigned Hyundai Santa Fe. With available H-Track all-wheel drive to help you get off the beaten path a little further together. And intuitive safety features that can help you see what's waiting around the bend. Plus, with generous room for 5 and comfortable available Napa leather seating, you can go for more drives as a family without driving each other crazy. Find new adventures together in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Take me out to the ball game. Get caught up with the big stories from around the world of sports in just a few minutes. It's Take Me Out to the Ball Game today, weekdays. Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube. Baseball, football, basketball, whatever's trending in the world of sports, it's on Take Me Out to the Ball Game today in just a few minutes. It drops weekdays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, as Wake Up Y'all is ending. Take Me Out to the Ball Game today on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Take me out to the ball game. The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live, covering the AFC South and NFC South along with the rest of the NFL. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
CBS Sports Radio, your home for all things sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, coast to coast. Great sports talk expected here. CBS Sports Radio.
This is Jim Rome. Join me in the jungle for your phone calls and the biggest names in sports. Stop by weekdays, noon until 3 Eastern, 9 to noon Pacific.
Hey, Jacksonville, winter is the perfect time to start planning for your healthy, pest-free spring lawn with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach and local expertise will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 866-946-5956 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
Don't use a car starter. Freeze your balls off. Be a man.
On today's episode, I got my laundry machine from bloody Mary Poppins appliances store. We will show you how to stick 17 bed sheets, 4 towels, 3 blankets, 2 children and a dog in the washer, and then complain that it bloody breaks. Yeah, kick it. If the door closes, the machine must wash it. Put 2-3 things like a normal person. Doesn't do ding when it's washing. It's screaming. It's trying to run away with its full load. You know why the two don't match? Because she broke this one. You can put at least 6 more pillow sheets. Shameless, man.
Welcome to the Handicappers, your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football, year long, and your DFS payouts. True Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers. Welcoming in Bobby the Kid with Joey and Tones Areola, with Stephen Troche and Sean O'Toole on the way. With your host, Mac McGee. Welcome to the Handicappers. Good morning and welcome to the Handicappers as we wait for you guys to join in here with us on the Armchair Quarterbacks. How are you doing, Mr. Tones?
How we doing today, Mac? It's another great day. I'm in the Bay today, and it's going to be a good one here for Buffalo, Tampa.
Yeah, I don't know what that terrible music is playing. You got something terrible playing in the background. I don't know what it is.
I'm in the room, so I should be okay.
Okay. And waiting for Joe. So both of y'all join with your videos, but then when I have to kill your video, you don't join back in. So can we get that straight? It's only week 14. So the two of y'all aren't in the same room? I don't understand that one.
No, I'm actually together. I'm in the lobby making it happen, baby. Let's go.
Why are the two of y'all not in the same room? It doesn't make any sense.
With noise and everything, we'd be hearing off each other. Then our mom and dad are here too. So, I went to the lobby, decided to take a little break, grab a coffee, and here we go. Let's week 14, baby.
All right, well, do us a huge favor when you're not talking, mute your ass because you got some terrible background music that's playing in the background. It's sounds like, I don't know, the beginning of a really bad porn. And I don't want to see what dude's about to enter your screen. You need to.
Damn, I'm hustling here from the lobby and just getting killed. This isn't right.
I don't understand why the two of y'all are in the same room if you're in the same area. But anyways, it seems like it would be easier, but what do I know? All right, let's go ahead and dive into there's no college football to react to except for the Army-Navy game, which was really good yesterday. A phenomenal game. I didn't know what to expect when I covered it yesterday. I really didn't expect to get the feedback that I got from all the men and women overseas, which is really cool. But then also I didn't expect it to be that great of a game. I expected Army to win by a couple of touchdowns. I didn't see Navy being able to control the line of scrimmage like they did, and they just basically put Army on their heels in the second half. And then to top that off, I just thought there were some really bad coaching decisions on the Army sideline in the second half that also, I'm not gonna say it lost them the game, but it put their backs up against the wall with some of the stupid things that I saw. The punting on 4th and 8 with 5 minutes left. You have an offense that doesn't move the ball down the field very well. So when you did stop them, that was great. You're getting the ball back with 3 minutes left, but you're getting the ball back as an option team having to go about 60 yards. So that didn't work out well. And then the other thing would be that I thought was strange was that 4th and 3, them just running an off tackle with the quarterback. I feel like when they opened the game up, they were using play action. The receivers were wide open. I don't know why they didn't do more of that.
And it was decently high scoring at first too. It was a 7-7 ball game. Not even halfway through the first quarter, over under was sitting at 35. So for a minute there, the under folks are probably sweating, but it turned out to be one of those run and gun games as always, and that was that. So it was a good one. I actually had Navy +8, so I was pretty happy.
Gotcha. I steered away from it. I did take the under because, now 16 years in a row, the under is hit.
Crazy.
And until that breaks, I'm always going to take the under in that game. Until it gets to where the under is like 3, I'm going to take the under in that game because it feels like it's always too low, but yet it's always too high. And when to your point, when it started out early in the game, hell, at halftime 13-7, I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm okay, but a couple of touchdowns and this isn't going to turn out well. And that all they got were 10 points in the second half. Now he's changed locations again. Did you get ran up by security?
Joey's going to be in the mirror
over here, son, but we're drinking coffee. You got to move.
Trying to find a little better location each time I have a chance, to be honest. I was a little too close to the elevator.
He's now in the hotel gym.
Hey, it might be the place to be in Tampa. Might be a little empty this morning.
We're going to start hearing clang, clang, clang. Only thing you missed was we were talking about the Army-Navy game. So that's about it. There was nothing else really of importance in college football that happened yesterday. Bryce Young won the Heisman. I honestly did not know that until this morning when I checked it. I assumed it. When Vegas has a minus 6,000 on someone to do something, I kind of assume it's a wrap. Did y'all watch the ceremony?
Kind of the same thinking like you. It's like we didn't watch it. We were out and about. We had other things on. We kind of knew what was going to happen. So we weren't focused and tuned in. We kind of assumed Bryce Young would win it. Although I was hoping, obviously, the Michigan defender snuck in there and made a name for himself. That didn't happen as we thought. And Bryce Young, here he is, Alabama back-to-back Heismans and the fourth Heisman winner under Nick Saban.
What brothel did Joe go to last night?
Honestly, though, like you guys have alluded to with Bama, we knew what was going to happen. We knew what was coming, but hey, you got to give kudos where it's due. I think that Georgia game kind of helped him out, but at the same time, if he would have been probably on a better team, probably more watched games, you could have probably swapped him right in there, as to be alluded to on Friday, but a boat race for him.
What are there, about 1,000 or so Heisman voters? What do you think? 20 of them actually watch the games.
Yeah.
They all plop their fat asses down and watch the SEC championship game. Oh, look, he's pretty good. We'll give it to him. That's all they did. That's what it's turned into. And pretty much the only way that Stroud was going to get that is he had to have beat Michigan so that he could be on the Big Ten championship game stage. So that didn't happen. And away we go. Like I said, it's to the point where I've really quit covering the Heisman Trophy. We first started doing this show in 2014. We would actually do, follow the chase of it. Now it's become such a clown show as far as who they give it to. And nothing against Bryce Young. I'm not saying he had a bad year. He wasn't the most outstanding player in college football this year. And used to, there were guys that would make runs for like little known teams. And you don't have that anymore. You don't even have that story anymore. You don't even hear them talk about, oh, so-and-so is having a really good year at BYU or Baylor or whatnot. It's always who's ranked in the top 5, who's the best offensive player on the team. All right, let's give it to that guy. And that's, it's sad what's happened in the Heisman Trophy, but
boring to watch.
It's the voters' fault. It is the voters' fault. If the voters wanted to make this interesting, they would vote on merit and they would vote on, hey, this guy deserves it. This guy was the most electric player. Instead, look, I saw many times this year Bryce Young did not look like the best quarterback in the state of Alabama, much less the best quarterback in the country. And yeah, he had a good game against Georgia. They had a good game plan against Georgia, but that's it. He looked terrible against Auburn. It's Georgia's fault for not blitzing him at all. I don't know if they're playing possum because they figure they're going to face them in the in the national championship game. They want to give them a different look, but it's Georgia's fault that Alabama's in the playoffs. It's Georgia's fault that he won the Heisman. They didn't challenge him at all. He looked terrible against Alabama. He looked pathetic against LSU. They won a lot of games where despite his poor play, they won anyways, but everyone kept just kind of hyping him up because he would put up big numbers against Alabama A&M and, Montana,
Idaho
college or whatever the hell it was. And you're like, all right. Well, man, they were a big SEC win. They pounded Vanderbilt today. Okay, great. But half Alabama games were not very impressive. So it is what it is. And we move on from that. Some other news in college football. Oregon hired Georgia's defensive coordinator, Lanning. He is heading to Oregon. I think that was just a cheap hire. I don't think that was anything that was like, wow, this is awesome. What it tells me is that Chip Kelly turned him down. There's no doubt about it. Chip Kelly turned him down. You're not going to make me believe that Oregon picked DC Lanning, the Georgia DC Lanning over Chip Kelly. And you're not going to tell me that they went out and went after a big name. This is a bridge until they find someone they really want. Florida State named Randy Shannon as their co-defensive coordinator. Whoopity freaking do. That guy has failed miserably where he's gone, and he's been an advisor, and now he's going to be defensive coordinator. They keep him around because he's a good recruiter, and that's it. And that's about it. College basketball was played last night, but basketball and hockey don't really matter until after football season ends because, seriously. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Y'all give me your cold and bold predictions. Tones, I'll start with you.
Yeah, one bold one I have today. I think Taylor Heineke plays an incredible game today for the Washington football team against Dallas. I think that he's the move for quarterback. If you're looking for someone, if your quarterback's in a bye week in week 14, perhaps, which we do have a good amount of people on bye weeks this week, I would maybe look for Taylor Heineke to have a big game today against a Dallas defense that really has been inconsistent all year, besides Micah Parsons. It's really lacking consistency besides him and Diggs. So I like Heineke today to have a good game. And then one guy I'm actually not high on is heading into the Seattle-Houston game, actually. Although Seattle is at Houston, I don't think Tyler Lockett has too big of a game today. He's projected to do okay, but I really think Russell Wilson finds Metcalf, makes things happen with his legs today, and so forth. I also don't like Kenny Golladay today at LAC. He's questionable to begin with. Kenny Golladay.
He's been questionable the whole time he's been in New York. So if you've got Kenny Golladay on your roster, give up.
He only had one good game this year, and even that, it was, he didn't find the end zone. So he's still looking to find the end zone on the season. But yeah, I'm going with Taylor Heineke.
You got a question real quick. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Dillon or Pollard in looks like a PPR?
I'd probably go Pollard in PPR. In non-PPR, I'd go Dillon probably, but with PPR, it's hard.
Is Pollard going to play?
He right now, it's looking like he is right now. Obviously, I know Zeke's playing, and let's see, Tony Pollard, it says he should play today. It says Pollard is a game-time decision, but he's trending upwards against Washington.
That makes me a little concerned. Because of that, I'm going to go with Dillon, but that's the only reason why. You find out he's got a clean bill of health, and they don't think there's going to be restrictions, a pitch count, so to speak. Pollard will probably be the thing about Dillon is I think he's going to eat quite a bit at the end of the game. I think they're going to get up by a big margin against the terrible Bears, and they're going to pound the ball. And as they do, they're eventually going to go tell Aaron Jones to have a seat, and Dillon could get some good garbage time yardage. That's why I'm going to go with Dillon. And he's starting to get to where he's vulturing touchdowns. So that's why I'm going to go with Dillon. But Joey, we'll make you the tiebreaker.
Yeah, to split the difference here, I'm going to go with Dillon as well. I like the way he's been running the ball lately. I like Pollard too, but just because of the injury possible concern, I like Dillon a lot today to run the ball pretty effectively against a Bears defense that struggled terribly last week at home against Arizona. So I would think A.J. Dillon will continue his good play, and I like for him to find the end zone once or twice.
All right, back to your cold and bold predictions.
Yeah, for my cold and bold, I like, obviously, the Lions today have 12 players.
Finishes. Sorry, because I'd cut him off.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay. All right. Joey, take it away. Sorry.
No, you're good. The Lions have 12 players with the flu, 6 actually out today, and that's a bad team that's already just keeps continuing to get worse. So I like Javonte Williams, your Tim Patricks. Teddy Bridgewater is a good value. A quarterback, if you stream quarterbacks, today would be the day to stream Teddy Bridgewater. Let me tell you, against the Lions defense that's going on the road with all as banged up with health concerns and all that. I'm a big fan of a lot of the Denver Broncos today. Texans disappointing. I mean, you might as well just say you're tanking. Davis Mills is now starting for them. Never stream that guy in a league. And that's just going to hurt. That's going to hurt guys in their run game. Not that they have much of a run game to begin with. Rex Burkhead did not do much against Indianapolis last week, and they really don't have too many other guys. But on the other side in Seattle, I look for Tyler Lockett to possibly have a big day today.
Didn't Tones just say that Tyler Lockett was kind of a bad day?
He was my cold player of the day. Yes.
Hey, sometimes we got to be opposites. I see the game against Indy this year where Tyler Lockett went off. He's been quiet besides that a lot of the time. Let's be quite honest. But I think Seattle's finally starting to catch a little bit of a groove after the very slow start to the season. Russell Wilson seemed to get a little bit of his stuff together last week. So I kind of like where the Seattle team is heading, even though it's a little too late for a playoff push. And that is my cold and bold for the day.
All right. I'm going to throw a bold out there for you. I know I don't do them normally because normally I'm just hosting, but if you're looking for a dart throw and you're just like, man, I've got to have something. I'm getting hit with the injury bug, the COVID-19 bug. Take a look at Hilliard today for the Tennessee Titans at home against the Jaguars. And I get it. Derrick Henry's not in that backfield, but the Tennessee Titans own Jacksonville on the ground over the last several years. And I expect that trend to continue today. I'm not saying he's going to go for 250 yards like Henry did a couple of years ago. I'm saying that this guy could get up around 100 yards and get in the end zone once or twice. There is talks about Derrick Henry getting back in the fold before the end of the fantasy playoffs. They're saying as early as maybe week 15 or week 16. But until then, they're going to lean on Hilliard because if you've watched any of the Titans games since Hilliard's been in action, there's a reason why AP was dropped. He has looked like the most dynamic running back in that backfield since the absence of Derrick Henry. So that's my 2 cents on that.
And I like that coming off of the Jaguars. I mean, they can't even – Urban Meyer's calling out his coaches left and right. That team is in disarray. I don't even think they'll play that hard for their coach, quite honestly.
And I know it's dicey when you do that because this is week 14 for a lot of people. This is the final week of the season. For some people, it's the beginning of their playoffs. So I get with the hesitation, but I'm not saying I would bench someone who is a gimme, who is a guy that you know is going to get the carries like a David Montgomery, even though he's got a tough sledding today. I still feel more comfortable, giving it to a guy that I know is going to get the touches. But I'm talking about if you're needing a dart throw, if you woke up and go, are you serious? Now Jamal Williams is on freaking COVID. Are you serious? Henderson, what the hell's going on around here? If it's that kind of a play, and maybe in some DFS as we get closer to in fact, let's go ahead and hit our DFS because we're getting close to the bottom of the hour. Bobby will be joining us to give us his. Tones, what is your DFS lineup of integrity?
My life is easy when the Bucks are eligible for this pool of players that we call the DFS. I won last week by picking mainly Bucks. I'm sticking to my merits again. QB Tom Brady, 7,600. Everybody expects Buffalo to come out and play tough, but I think Tampa's offense has their way with the Bills today. I like Tom Brady for 7,600. He's averaging 25.3 fantasy points per game.
You're going to start Tom Brady?
No,
the world is green and green and blue, right? So yes, sir.
This isn't a year-long dynasty league, right? Like you can change quarterbacks.
Why change when I'm having success? Yeah, Tom Brady, and then surprise, going Leonard Fournette at running back for 7,400.
Get out of the way. Leonard Fournette, Gronk. The Tampa Bay defense, Evans,
you got
Antonio Brown just in case he comes back off the suspension. What else are you getting in your lineup?
He's got Chuba Hubbard for 5,900 with McCaffrey out and playing a weak Atlanta defense. I think that Hubbard has a good game today. For that Carolina team
or he better, right? Like if you picked up Hubbard, you're expecting that guy to play and play well, and especially against Atlanta. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep, like you said, if you're a Hubbard owner and you picked him up, you expect him to play well against Atlanta, especially. So today might be the day for Hubbard owners out there, especially. Matt Rule fired Joe Brady, so they're probably going to look to keep things a little more simplistic, perhaps on the ground and whatnot. So I like Chuba Hubbard today. You guessed it, Mike Evans.
What's the deal behind that, by the way? Why did he get rid of Brady?
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird too? Because Joe Brady 2 or 3 months ago at this time was probably the man that they viewed as, the top next head coach candidate or one of the next young head coach candidates in the game, and now he's looking for a job. So to me, Matt Rule kind of did that out of desperation. He's starting to hear some rumors in Carolina about his job safety. So, I think he kind of pulled a fluke move there, and I think he let go of Brady in spite of his own self, in spite of his own mistakes. I think that Brady was kind of the scapegoat and thus ultimately got let go by Carolina. So a little interesting to see. Everyone was all hi-ho on Joe Brady just a few short months ago, and now he's looking for a job. So that'll be something to keep an eye on.
He will not be unemployed long. I can guarantee you that.
No, he could find a home, whether it's NFL or college, in a snap. It'll be that easy for him. So,
God, is he really only 32 years old? Wow.
Yeah, that's why he was such a hot and heavy head coach candidate too. And a little interesting to see now that entire LSU coaching tree kind of falling apart. Ed O's out of a job. Joe Brady's out of a job. A little interesting to see that.
Joe Brady will be an offensive coordinator somewhere really soon, and he will be a head coach. I'll say in college football, I say he gets there within 3 years.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that there. I think Joe Brady's going to be a head coach at one rank, whether, at first people were thinking pros, but now I'm thinking more college. So expect Joe Brady to find his way off the unemployment list pretty soon here. So, again, interesting in Carolina. We're seeing some changes right now. We'll see if the dismissal of Joe Brady changes anything. If anything, I think it might make the team worse personally, but that's just me. And then I got Mike Evans at wide receiver, like you said, for 6,600. I had to stack him with Brady. I got Tim Patrick for 4,800. I think he has a big game against Detroit, as Joe alluded to. I got Mike Williams for 6,000 without Keenan Allen on the COVID list today. A couple other weapons out for the Chargers. I do like Mike Williams today. And then I like for 2,900, a cheap little pickup at tight end, James O'Shaughnessy on the Jay O'Shaughnessy on the Jaguars. Arnold's out for them, so I think O'Shaughnessy is going to step in. Trevor Lawrence has kind of been looking for someone to get the ball to a little bit. They'll probably do a lot of check downs to their tight end today. Defense, I'm going with the Ravens for 2,800 against Cleveland. That's in spite of how bad Baker Mayfield is pretty much. So I had 2,800 left on a defense. Didn't love the defensive options for 2,800, but Baltimore can make a couple plays on a bad quarterback in Baker Mayfield. And then my flex, you guessed it, brother, Gronk for 6,000. So
that's why you're struggling to find you're putting Shaughnessy and bad defenses in there is because you're spending $6,000 on Gronk.
I always do that though. I'd rather bite the bullet on a defense. I do that every week and get a better flex player.
He's extremely overpriced every single week because if he doesn't get in the end zone, then you're like, oh.
But if he does twice, like he has in 3 games this year, then you're like, let's go.
Yeah, but that's a big if in fantasy football. Joey, what you got?
Yeah, for my lineup today, I alluded to the Broncos. I like them. I'm going to stick on that train for a while today. I mean, I want them to lose for the Colts' sake, but when you're playing a hopeless Lions team, it's never the best. So Teddy Bridgewater at 5,700. I think should have a pretty good day. The Lions are already a pretty bad defense. Opponents ranked 19th. That continues to get worse with the injuries they have. I'm going to go at running back. We get a familiar face back today for New Orleans, Alvin Kamara. I think he's the only part of the offense that will have anything going for him. He's 7,900. The defense for the Jets is ranked 32nd, which is just trash. Kamara's going to have to do so much today for them to really make any push at the wild card. So I like him. James Robinson at 5,800. If Jacksonville, if they do anything against the Titans today, they're going to have to get the ground game going. Urban Meyer doesn't like to do that very often, but James Robinson's a great talent who I'm going to hope for some positivity today. Wide receiver 1, Brandon Ayuk at 5,800 at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's played in a lot of interesting games, especially lately with the high scores involved. So I kind of like the 49ers there, and I'm going to take Brandon Ayuk at 5,800. Jarvis Landry at 5,400, coming off a bye week against the Baltimore Ravens, who had another cornerback go down last week. Those D-backs continue to struggle in Baltimore along with that defense. So Jarvis Landry might not be doing the most. His name's bigger than his stats usually, but I like him there. My hookup 2, Bridgewater. I'm going to link him to Tim Patrick at 4,800. He's been brought up a couple of times. I like that connection today. I think that does some good. And I actually have Noah Fant. So there's two weapons for Teddy B. I'm all over this Broncos offense. So if they don't put up 30-plus points, I'll probably lose in DFS this week. George Kittle at 6,900 at Cincinnati. Hey, when he's healthy, I like playing him. I like my odds there. And then with $100 left to spare is between a couple of defenses, but Seattle defense to me was a no-brainer. Davis Mills, that just is disappointing to me. Houston is pretty much saying they're just throwing in the towel. Maybe they should. They don't have much to play for anyway, but I think Seattle's on the up and Houston's way on the down. So I'll go with Seattle.
Breaking news, Deebo Samuel will start in week 14.
I love that. I love the way he's been able to be versatile in the running game and the pass game. I think San Fran will actually win that game. But yeah, that's my DFS with $100 left to spare.
I see that's a popular pick, but I think Cincinnati's going to get that W at home. But
they pissed me off last week.
I'm really disappointed. So I just looked to see what games are we get locally this week. So we get the Jaguar game, obviously, which I'm fine with because with them playing the Titans. But the 4:00 game. So we're only getting one 1:00 game, and then we're getting two 4:00 games. We're getting Bills and Bucks, which is good on one station. The other one is the Chargers and the Giants. I'm like, dude, we couldn't have got something better than that. That's terrible. I would have liked to see Cincinnati versus San Francisco because I believe that's a 4:00 kickoff as well. Anyways, Bobby is joining us right now as he's getting set and getting climbing in here. I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my lineup of integrity. So let me go ahead and rattle that off to you. I'm taking a risk with a game that I think is going to be a shootout. Heineke is just 5,500, and I'm going to take the risk that he's going to put up enough so that when I grab my other guys, it's worth it. So I've got Heineke at 5,500 today. He's going up against the 26th ranked defense against quarterbacks in fantasy football. So give me Taylor Heineke. All right. My running backs, I'm going Alvin Kamara. He's going up against the very worst run defense for running backs in all the National Football League at 7,900. I coupled him with CEH 6,100 with it being a PPR format. I like my chances of him getting involved quite a bit in the running game and in the receiving game. My wide receivers, that allowed me to go Mike Williams at 6,000. He should feast against the Giants. I mean, come on. I forget the term that Steven uses, but basically I call it my ace to chase, because whenever you grab a quarterback, you want to grab someone who is going to be on the other side trying to keep up with that quarterback. So I took CD Lamb in the game, 7,200. Julio Jones is just 5,400. AJ Brown's not going to play. I figure they're going to use him quite a bit in this game, and I think he'll be worth the 5,400 slot. I'm going to pair up my quarterback with my tight end. Seals Jones is 3,600. Look, I thought about taking a couple of the other receivers for Washington, but I feel like they're a little overpriced and I could get better value elsewhere. So I went and grabbed the tight end and hopefully they connect. And my running back is Javonte Williams against the Detroit Lions. And because I only had 2,400 left, I ended up with the Detroit Lions defense. So
hey, sometimes you got to bite the bullet.
But I think that's going to be a fairly low scoring game. It's going to be a very dull game. It's going to be a game where I expect Denver to win the game somewhere like a 20-10 type of ball game where it's never going to be in doubt, but Denver doesn't put up a lot of damn points, and they're going to run the ball. If they get any kind of a lead, they're going to sit on the ball, and away we go. Joining us is Mr. Bobby. Bobby, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Florida State didn't lose yesterday, so I'm much better. There's no chance of them losing again this year. So there's that going on. Do you have your lineup of integrity, sir?
I do. All right, I'll start with quarterback. We got Justin Herbert for 7,100 against the Giants defense. I think Herbert's in for a big day, and I think the Chargers offense as a whole could be. The Giants have been struggling lately, and I think the Chargers need to pick up some wins for the playoffs, and I think this is their chance to do so. So I see Herbert having a big day. That being said, I also got Eckler at my running back, our 8,300. I think this is going to be a big day for the Chargers offense. Should be a blowout. Shouldn't really be close at all. So I like Eckler today. My running back 2 is Godwin Igwebuike for 4,000 against the Broncos. Now with Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift both being out for the Lions, he's kind of in the third guy in line. But it's probably going to be a running back committee today, which I wouldn't mind either way though, because he's only 4,000.
It's really interesting everyone's take on this, because if you ask 10 people, they're going to give you 11 different Detroit running backs. That's going to be the lead back. And so, there's Jefferson, there's Igwebuike. I mean, I honestly think that you're making the smart move as far as the talent that I've seen. I haven't really seen Jefferson run, but Igwebuike, every time I've seen him get in the game, he seems like he's explosive. So that'll be interesting to see if that pans out for you.
Yeah. I've seen Igwebuike. He's broken off some big runs when he's getting the chance. And I think he'll get the chance today for the most part. I think he'll take the majority of the snaps. But like I said, I think it's going to be a rotation between 2 or 3 running backs today for the most part. So I'm not expecting a huge game, but for 4,000, I think that's a good price. My wide receiver 1 is Julio Jones for 5,400 against the Jaguars. Again, like you mentioned just a minute ago, no A.J. Brown today. And this is a pretty weak Jaguars defense and secondary in particular. So I really see Julio having a big day today in his return. My wide receiver 2 is Mike Williams for 6,000 against the Giants. Again, another receiver 1 is out, Keenan Allen today. And the Giants, a bad defense, bad secondary. And I think Mike Williams for 6,000. I think that's going to be a good deal. I think he's going to have a big day. My wide receiver 3 is Josh Reynolds for 4,100 against the Broncos. He's scoring double digits in the past 2 weeks since he's joined the Lions, and I really think until his price shoots up or until he has a bad game, I'm going to keep going with him. For only 4,100, if I can get double digits again out of him today, I think he's well worth it. My tight end is Dawson Knox for 5,000 against the Bucs. The Bucs are 24th against tight ends in fantasy this year so far, and I see the Bills coming out today and passing a lot after last week. They had to kind of limit that last week with the weather and stuff, so I see them coming out blazing. I think Dawson Knox has a solid game. My flex is Antonio Gibson for 6,000 against the Cowboys. He's been playing well recently. He's had quite a few 20-point games in the last few weeks. And last time he played the Cowboys, he had a 3-touchdown game. So I'm hoping he can have something close to that today. And then my defense is the Titans for 3,700 against the Jaguars. I kind of had a little bit of money left to spend here, and I didn't see any positions I'd like to upgrade. So I went a little bit heavy on the defense here. Titans against a pretty bad Jaguars team today for 3,700.
All right. And so those are the lineups of integrity. Let's go ahead and move on. Haven't really got a chance to talk any of the lines today yet, so I figured this would be a good time to kind of get these in before we do any of our locks. And there's some really interesting lines out there. We'll just kind of go around. Don't give me your lock, but give me games that you're interested in. Tones, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm interested in Baltimore getting the last time I checked, it was 2.5. I'm not sure if it's still 2.5 or moved a little bit, but Baltimore getting points at Cleveland. Cleveland's offense, besides the running game, is just very stagnant, and they, have a hard time putting up points. Baltimore had a disappointing game last week against Pittsburgh. They laid an egg. They went for 2. Should have had the 2, and then that just didn't come to fruition. Lamar Jackson didn't make the best of throws on that one. But I think it's interesting. I kind of like Baltimore getting the points on the road today against Cleveland. I think Cleveland kind of bottoms out the rest of the year, and they got to look for a new quarterback in the offseason because Baker Mayfield's really bad. Give me Baltimore in the 2.5.
All right. Joey, you got a game in mind?
Yes, I do. I'm looking at the Cowboys-Washington game. I can't believe that spread now moved to Dallas -6.5. I don't know if there's something wrong with Washington or a key injury happened, but to me, they should not be getting pretty much a full touchdown in their home stadium. To me, that's kind of laughable. I look for this to be a very tight battle. It's going to come down to the wire. The Washington needs this game. If Washington loses this game, they're pretty much saying Dallas wins this division, as the Eagles are already falling behind and the Giants are just a disaster. So this is really an NFC East on the line today for Washington, and I think they come out strong, and I could actually even see them winning this ball game. I'm sure there's a decent amount of people who would agree with me on that, but I look for a showdown in Washington.
Bobby, do you have a game in mind?
I do, and it's not a Sunday game. It's tomorrow night. I like Cardinals -2.5. I think given how the last game went against the Rams, it was ugly, and I don't see it being as much of a blowout this time around. But playing Stafford on prime time, I'm a little bit comfortable. So I like Cardinals -2.5 tomorrow night.
All joking aside, I did already take that game. I took
I think that's not a very big spread.
I got it earlier in the week when the spread I think was 1.5 for 2, and I got it on the money line at just -135. So I was a little concerned giving up the points. So I'm going to pay the VIG a little higher because I could see a divisional game coming down to like a 2-point conversion or something. So, but I like that one a lot. My favorite teaser of the day is getting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Green Bay Packers on the same teaser. So I took them on a 7-point teaser, and Tampa Bay is now getting 3.5 at home, and Green Bay is giving up just 6. So Green Bay's just got to win by a touchdown, and Tampa Bay, I think, will win at home. But even if they lose, I don't think they're going to get beat by more than a field goal. So I really like that one. And I apologize to y'all going to the game of me putting the kiss of death on you, but I really liked that one. I'll tell you another one I like that keeps climbing. The Raiders. The Raiders are getting 10, 11 points some places. And I know, look, I get it that Kansas City went in and really put it on the Raiders. What was it, about a month ago? But the Raiders normally play them really well, and I don't see them getting blown out two games in a row. And I really wish this game was being televised in my area, because that game and the Dallas Washington game are my two most intriguing games to me. The Raiders, to me, are going to be able to put up enough, and I think it's going to be on the ground. I really do. I think you're going to see Jacobs have a decent day. That I get it that they don't have Waller, but they do have some decent weapons at wide receiver. I remember last year they beat the brakes off of Kansas City in Kansas City, and nobody could figure out why. And I just feel like this is another game where you're going to get the Raiders coming in, chip on their shoulder, something to prove, and we won't be able to explain why, but it'll be a really close game. And there's no way I'm giving 10 points up.
And I heard Josh Jacobs invited all his baby mamas today, so he's looking for about 30 seats.
So that means the place will be sold out. It's going to be rocking. All going to be decked out in silver and black, which is what I'm wearing today. This is an old Lyle Alzado jersey. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be a game. People are going to be kicking themselves in the rear for giving up 10, even 11 points in some places with the Raiders this morning.
There is a weird story going on in that Dallas-Washington game, too. Dallas actually flew their own benches in for today's game.
What? Of course they did. Why? Hello?
Out during the game. So Cowboys partnered.
You cut out there for a second. What was the thing about the benches?
Cowboys got word from Seattle that the hot seat benches provided at FedEx Field kept going out during the game. So the Cowboys partnered with the company in Cleveland, and they shipped their own benches in today to make sure that they stay warm during the whole game. So that's kind of interesting. If you're watching the game, you'll actually see Cowboys benches on the sideline at the Washington football team field, FedEx Field.
Has anyone seen what that's going to look like as far as the weather conditions there?
It's going to be cold and chilly. Other than that, I haven't really seen any expected, precipitation or other nonsense. But it is going to be a cold one in Washington. And
how cold are we talking?
It says like 45 degrees.
That's not. I don't even know if you need warm benches for that. I mean, come on.
Dallas needs warm benches for everything. You know them. They're preppy.
As you sit in Tampa. Why the hell weren't you going to the Packers game? It was closer. Nah, man, I ain't trying to sit out in that.
On those benches, I'm good.
Exactly. I'll tell you another game that I'm looking at. Okay, so one thing that is, and anyone's got any props, whatever you want to throw out there, this is the time to do, because we got about 10-15 minutes before we have to change hands. Here's an interesting prop. Mahomes, 36.5 pass attempts. I think he blows that away. They threw the ball like 52 times last time they played the Raiders. 36.5 pass attempts. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if the Chiefs win that game, if the Chiefs are going to win that game, to me, they're going to have to probably keep it in the air, mostly Raiders D-backs. A little weak.
I want to see another
bet I like is the under on the Ravens-Browns game. Really, with these NFC North matchups outside of the Bengals game, really, but the games between the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers this year have all been really low scoring. They've all stayed in the between 10 and 20 for both teams. It's really odd. So I don't see a lot of offense today for either one of those teams, and I would take the under pretty confidently.
I'll tell you one that I really like. How about Jamison Crowder over under 52.5 receiving yards? Moore just got put on the IR.
Mm-hmm. Corey Davis as well.
Corey Davis is done for the season.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a whole lot else out there. Michael Carter's still on the IR.
Yeah. And
they're playing a Saints team that should rake over them. I like that one a lot. Jamison Crowder plus 52.5.
Solid.
Yeah. I also like Brett Maher, the Saints kicker, over 7.5 points in that one. I think that the Saints are going to be putting up points for once against this Jets team. Might have to settle for a couple field goals as well. I like Saints kicker going over the 7.5 points.
Looking here to see where is he at? I'm curious what the player prop is for. See, Alvin Kamara, 107 yards, total rushing and receiving is enticing, but that is a big number. I usually like to try to find something like that is way too low. What about this? Taysom Hill, 53.5 yards rushing.
I had my eye on that one as well.
I mean, he got 100 yards last week against a much better defense. 53.5 yards. He could have that on the first drive.
Yeah, I have my eye on that one too. I like that one a lot too.
Now if the pansy goes up there and hurts his finger again and can't play, then we're talking something different. But
that being said, taking the over.
Zing zing. What?
Better if he gets benched.
Well, don't piss all over my parade already.
Who is the Saints backup right now?
You have to play to get benched, though.
Simeon hasn't been good, so I'm not anticipating.
Simeon has been terrible.
Oh, he's trash.
Yeah, I wasn't anticipating getting benched, but he threw I think 4 picks last week. So not terribly confident.
This morning scrolling through YouTube. What the hell did I do to these guys, man? Get my name out your mouth.
Maybe you'll fire him up. He'll be inspired to play good today.
No, he won't. I'll tell you some other guys that I'm curious about. I'm going to pull this up real quick. I got to find the game. The Tampa game is 4:00, right? So
correct.
4:25 kickoff. What I'm curious about is some of the Bills props. They're probably going to be playing from behind. And I'm not talking about Diggs. I want to know Emmanuel Sanders, 44.5 yards. Cole Beasley, how about this? 4.5 receptions over under. I think I'd be all over the over on that one.
Yeah, I kind of like over.
they're going to be checking down to him. Like he might only he might get 9-10 catches. Now he might only have 12 yards receiving, but he might get double-digit catches. I think that's pretty low.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, Buffalo's going to have to do a lot of passing, and Cole Beasley, those 4, 5, 6, 7-yard passes, I could see quite a few of those today in garbage time.
Yeah, I like the Cole Beasley over as well. 4.5 catches for him. That's only a couple slant routes, and next thing you know, he's got the over there. I also like in a different game, quick a prop bet, David Johnson. Not that he's done anything this year. Over under rush yard total 20.5. And if Texans seem to keep a close game with Seattle somehow, I could see David Johnson get into that 20.5.
So hit a couple more. Man, I hate when I open up player props on this app, on this site, because then it's like this damn long. It takes me forever to scroll to anything else. By the way, that Bears-Packers game is up to 11.5 points. I still don't think that's enough points.
Probably isn't. It's a little bit too risky, I feel like.
I don't know why it's trending towards Chicago. They are expecting.
Nothing should ever trend towards Chicago, though.
No, but I'm sitting here trying to think of why it should trend towards Chicago, but there's not a big injury or anything that's being expected.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting Dallas -7 now on
what? I just don't get that.
Why? I don't know why it keeps going up.
I thought it'd be like 3.5.
By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and call it now because I always have to go last today. I'm grabbing it. Washington +7. That's my lock. Washington. I think Washington's gonna win the game. I really do. When McCarthy goes out there and he pulls we're gonna win. I get he's 6-1 lifetime against the Washington football team. But dude, why would you go there? Why would you rattle that?
What's the point?
I don't know. I don't understand it at all. I do not understand why in the world you would just get up there and rattle that chain and say, "Oh, we're going to win. We're going to do big things around here." Dude, shut up, win the game, and get out of town.
Vegas must have took him seriously because they keep bumping that thing like crazy. Good lock by you. I like it.
Do they know that Washington's at home?
Maybe not with the benches.
That's what it is. That's why it's trending, man.
Between McCarthy and those warm benches.
Dallas is going to make big moves with the bench.
If it gets up to 7.5, I would absolutely get all of it. That'd be too risky.
Man, I would grab that 7 all day long.
Yeah, even 7, that'd be enough.
I would grab the money line. I'm being quite honest. I think that I wouldn't even mind that.
That'd be a good payout.
What is the money line at 240? Yeah. Yeah, that just doesn't seem like. I don't see any shape or form how in the world that plays out well for the Cowboys on the road. They just haven't played well, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And Washington's pretty hot too. They've won 3 in a row now, and they keep playing better football. So I think that they're going to continue to play better football. I took this game when Washington was getting 4.5 only, so I lost a couple points early on in the week because I thought the spread would go the other way, but it's trending the opposite direction.
So we've got a couple more minutes before we do your locks. More game that I want to take and get y'all's take on this. Man, this stupid props. I open up those props and I just scroll for days. It's like the Dead Sea Scroll over here. There's got to be a better way to design that. Jacksonville getting 10 points against Tennessee. Would anyone be enticed to take the Jaguars? By the way, they're already calling for their head. You know what? That's what I want to talk about. The hell with the point spread. People are in Jacksonville are wanting. I'm talking about, these are big fans of the Jaguars. I saw this trending quite a bit last night. They want Urban Meyer fired already. Is that realistic?
I think so, and I think he's probably done after this year, honestly.
Yeah,
Do you really?
I think it's been a circus this year. I agree with Bobby. I don't see how he survives. There's been some episodes he's not using his star players correctly. And, players are starting to get mad too. I've seen it on the news last night that players are growing frustrated within Jacksonville. So they really got to choose if they want to keep Urban or if they'd rather respect the players that are left on their rosters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw there was a report that Marvin Jones, he got into a big blow up with Urban Meyer in a practice, and he walked out, and they had the position coaches. I think they went and talked to him, had to convince him to come back. So yeah, and on top of that, the whole James Robinson benching thing, Trevor Lawrence, he questioned Urban Meyer's decision on that. I think it's a mess. I don't think Urban's cut out for the pros.
Okay, but if they were going to try to fire him, I feel like it would have been after the Applebee's incident, right?
That would have been a good time to do it. Yeah,
they held on to him, so now you have no reason to fire him for cause. It's going to cost you a big chunk of money to get rid of him. This is also the same franchise that held on to Doug Stinkin' Marrone 2 years too long, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the AFC Championship in 2017. They were junk by 2018. By 2019, they were a laughing stock, and they held on to him through 2020. I'm going to be just shocked if Shad Khan actually has the cojones to fire Urban Meyer after just one season. I would applaud him. It's not like he doesn't have the money, but I would just be shocked. I'd be shocked if they and who are they going to get that's quote unquote better? My only concern about this entire thing is they hold on to him so damn long, they ruin Trevor Lawrence's career.
That'd be a damn shame too.
I think the offensive line that's going to be the big thing that they need to fix if they want to keep his career on track.
I mean, if the idiot hadn't drafted a damn running back.
Yep.
When they already had
another Urban mistake.
Right. I don't know what his deal is with James Robinson, but it's almost like he's got an axe to grind with him.
I tell you, Carlos Hyde, he was a running back for Urban at Ohio State a while back. So that's probably plays a little bit of a role in it, which I don't think that bias should seep over into the pros.
Still, I'm just it's felt like since the moment he's arrived in Jacksonville, he has had an axe to grind with James Robinson. He goes out and drafts a running back he does not need. He should have grabbed an offensive lineman there with the 25th pick. And then to top it off, okay, if you're not going to go offensive lineman, my God, at least go get him some damn toys, get him some receivers. Elijah Moore was there. There were a lot of receivers that were there. And they just kept screwing around. They had a terrible draft. Trevor Lawrence, you could argue, has been the quarterback that's looked the worst of all the big names that got drafted.
Yep.
I'd probably say Zach Wilson's behind him, but it'd be tough to put Lawrence above too many.
I think Zach Wilson has shown us more this year, just to be honest. But it's not by much. Justin Fields, everyone believes it's the coaching staff. And then the only other one would be in the argument would be Trey Lance, but he hasn't played enough for anyone to really get. And plus, when you drafted Trey Lance, I said it then, I'll say, just reiterate it. When you drafted Trey Lance, the number 3 pick overall, you're an idiot, because if you use your number 3 pick overall on a guy who's not going to play in year 1, you've wasted the draft pick. And
49ers, the way they're going right now, they could use a player that impacts plays every day with the wild card situation.
Right, but you also know that when you drafted Trey Lance, who had very little experience in college football, dude, you knew he was at least a project of a year. Best case scenario starting in 2022, which I think he probably will start by 2022 because they're going to want to see what they have with him, and they can't go through Garoppolo again. It's just, I think he needs to try to go somewhere else, reinvent himself, kind of thing. All right, so we're coming up at the end of the hour. Tones, give me your lock of the day and your one big thing.
Yeah, I actually really like your Washington lock as well. So I like that one, but I'm going with a different one. I'm going with Baltimore plus 2.5. I alluded to it. I was going to go with Washington. That's why I mentioned the Baltimore game. And then you locked Washington, so I'm pivoting to Baltimore now. I think Baltimore comes out and gets a W on the road today in Cleveland, and they're getting points. So Even if they do lose by 1 or 2, they'll still cover that spread. Give me Baltimore in this one after a tough, heartbreaking loss last week. They know how important this game should be for the division. And my one big thing, when you look around the NFL, you're starting to realize it's playoff time. Teams start needing wins, man. You look around, pretty soon, the AFC East is going to continue to get lopsided. When it's all said and done, I don't think the Bills make the playoffs. That's my one big thing. I think Buffalo is on the down and out.
They've got a tough schedule, no doubt. I think we've lost Joey. I don't see him in the room, and I don't know if he got kicked out of the sauna or wherever he was.
He did text me. He said something happened with his laptop, but his lock is Titans -8.5, and one big thing. Well, Colts will be in the playoff picture by the night's end.
You don't care about the one big thing. The one big thing is pay your internet bill. That's the one big thing.
Him and Angelo need to pay their bills.
Exactly. All right, brother. Well, we're going to go ahead and run to break. Enjoy the game, man. Hopefully Tampa gets a win for you, so it wasn't a wasted trip. And I think they will. I think it should be a fun game, but I think Tom will figure out a way to get you that W.
Thank you, sir. I'm 2-0 this year, so let's make it 3-0.
Heard. We'll be back in a flash here. Sean's going to join Bobby and I believe Steven's on the way, but he says he's in the room, but I don't see him. We'll see what happens.
You say your name right now.
Denise, be nice.
That's better. Thank you.
Okay. I've noticed that Antonio Brown has found yet another sucker to take him on. God knows we've already done Pittsburgh's dirty laundry. I'm curious about one thing. Do you think that he'd be welcomed back as easily in the league if he were going back to Bill Belichick and the Patriots? In other words, you think that he'd be welcome back if he were going to make New England a better team, or if he's going back to Tom Brady?
Armchair. We are the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for sports talk live from the first coast.
What do we do? This just got way too complicated.
I've got it. Here's what's going down. Corey, you talk to your team. You guys are going to decline that holding call.
Done.
Yo, wait for this.
Hold on. Trayshawn, once we break this huddle, you're going to get out there, do some crazy celebration. I'm talking some humpies. Whatever you got to do, you do it.
Okay, I got you.
I'm going to call unsportsmanlike conduct on the celebration, giving the whites better field position after the kickoff. Coach, I need you to talk to your team about letting them run that kickoff back.
Why would I do that?
Think about it. Defense, special teams, it's all one. You let them run that kickback, both your defenses get 6 points.
Nice.
Okay, everyone good here?
Yeah.
Nope. Once again, my kicker is getting no love. Oh, shut up, Bill. Your team is in first place. Plus, you're about to get extra point for the PAT.
Yeah, don't be greedy, Bill.
Stop being greedy, Bill. Bill.
Fine.
Bill. Yeah, Bill.
I said fine.
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
You, Bill.
All right, let's do this. Get out there.
Wait a minute. Trayshawn comes in with a very delayed celebration here. Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure that's going to be there it is. Another
Armchair.
I said it like 4 times, so why didn't you say it the first time? Because it's pronounced Aaron.
Armchair Quarterback Radio is AFC South country all NFL season long.
They hand it off Fournette. He's driving, and he's in for the touchdown. Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that in 20 more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. He might go 99 yards to the touchdown. Unbelievable. 2nd and 10. Empty set. Right downfield. And that is Hilton again. Post and goal. Ebron. What a year for him. Ebron. Touchdown. Goal. Slam. Caught. Touchdown. Marquise Lee. And he punched the ball into the stands. Deep. And he's got it. Keelan Cole, touchdown Jacksonville.
Stay locked in to the AFC South on Armchair Quarterback Radio.
I don't return fruit. Fruit's a gamble. I know that going in.
Good morning. Let's go. Week 14. And for most people, Your playoffs begin next week. You might be in some leagues where they start this week. You might be in some leagues where you got a couple weeks left. But for all intents and purposes, week 14 means serious business around here. And we got the team to help y'all try to get into the playoffs and hopefully dominate your playoffs. As we welcome on Sean O'Toole and Stephen Troche. Sean, how are you this morning, sir?
I am fantastic, fighting off the after effects of booster, but so far so good, no complaints there. Looking forward to a good day of football. No Colts today, so I can just spend all my energy putting the juju on the Titans, and that's why I've got the Colts-Jaguars multi-level thing going on here, and so we won't talk about the Lions. We'll get to that later, I'm sure.
Stephen, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. We got another football Sunday. I mean, thankfully, I don't got too much to worry about. I'm basically out of the playoffs in, I'd say, 8 of my 11 leagues. So,
hey, basically, man, it's easy cheesy for me, man. You know, if you apply yourself, you won't have to worry about the the playoffs. So, yeah. How many? Okay, let's go around the rooms. Stephen, I'll start with you. How many leagues do you have where you need a big win to get into the playoffs today?
I'd say, let's see, 1, 2. I'd say between 3 and 5. Like one, I've got playoffs secured. Most of them, I'm just dead in the water. Like if I get in, it'll be a shock.
Sean, what about you?
Yeah, I'm in 5. We've got the 4 Yahoo ones that we put together, and then the one on that app, Sleeper. And you made the joke last week, and I can't believe I didn't think of it first. I think all of my teams were like 6 and 6, or 6 and 5, or 5 and 6 at some point. I think 4 of the 5 I'm either in the playoffs already, or I've got a chance to get in with a win or some help this week. And then the one where I used the old Washington football team logo, I'm drawing dead, which is karma coming back to get me, I guess.
Bobby, what about you?
Yeah, I got a couple where I'm still fighting for a playoff spot, but for the most part, it's either my team is kind of dead or I'm got my playoff spot locked up. But I got one big league where I need to get a win today, and I need one of 2 guys to lose. So I'm hoping for the best there. Hoping Chase Edmonds goes because I'm relying on him to get a win this week.
I'm looking at the Armchair Keeper League, and Steven is on the outside looking in, but if you get the W, I think your best way in is if Rocky Top loses and you win, because you would end up in a flat-footed tie, but you have more. You've outscored them by over 100 points.
What's that? The 10-team keeper?
No, that's the 4-team keeper. Or the 2 to 4 team keep.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I misunderstood because the Sleeper app is the
10 keepers. I got it.
10 player keeper. All right. I'm barely in the playoffs, but I am in number 4. But if I lose, I pretty much have it sewn up because the only person who can catch me is you, but I've outscored you by 170 points. So it'd have to be a disaster for me to get outscored by 170. And oh, by the way, that's the league that Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson that I have, so, and Freiermuth. So I've already scored 83. So
is that the league where like one division, every single team is 7 and 5?
No, because James is 3 and 10, which is who you're playing. James is playing Rocky Top. Oof. I thought that's who you were playing. James is playing Rocky Top. Now, if I thought Justin Time was Justin. Is that you, Sean?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, threw me off. I was like, Justin's got 2 damn teams and he still can't make the playoffs. So Sean's team, if he wins, he has outscored you by 28. So there's a little bit of scoreboard watching, because if you win and Sean loses, you're going to have to outscore him by about 30 to get in. Your best route is to get Rocky Top to lose, but he's playing James. I'll try to shoot James a text and make him sure. Well, I mean, he's starting a lineup. I didn't know if he was like snoozing over there. Not. Wait, what? What do you mean? He still has CMC in there, and And then there's another league. I think it's the Trophy League. Is it the Trophy League where I need a W to get in?
The Nashville one?
No, that's the free league where we're doing the trophy. By the way, my plan is to get all this thing organized today and send out invitation or send out, all the money that's owed. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and then I get sidetracked at work, and then next thing I know, it's a Herculean task with all these leagues. But that is my plan today. I'm going to watch the games. I'm going to sit in front of my computer. I'm going to get this damn thing taken care of. In that league, in the Trophy League, I'm in the slot right now. My God, this is the league that's crazy because you've got, Will's 9-4, Carr is 8-5, and then you've got 5 teams that are 7-6.
That's the one I was talking about.
So basically, one man's going to be left out. And if everyone goes chalk, it would be Joey's team. If everyone wins, but there's no way everyone could win because someone's going to be playing somebody.
That's the league I'm thinking about. I am like 3-10, so
that is another league in which I have Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. So who am I playing in that? Oh, I'm playing Carr. He's already sewn up a spot, so I don't know if he's going to. Well, it says he hasn't sewn up a spot. I guess, because if he loses and everyone wins, he'll have 6 losses too. And then it's going to get real sticky because he's got, you've got 4 teams that could outscore him pretty easily. So it's going to be a wild ride today. And then we've got the playoffs starting in the sleeper bot. Now, are y'all I know you're all in that league. Is anyone in the playoffs today in that, or
Bobby and I are going for last place, I think.
What's that?
You're battling out down there.
Yeah, Bobby and I are battling out for last.
Oh, okay. Sean, you're in that in the playoffs, I assume?
I am. I am facing whoever Ray Tango is. That's not you. You're
no,
Touch, I think.
Yeah, that's
my friend Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Friend Ryan. Got it.
Sorry. I always want to call him Ray now because he's named his team Ray Tangos. But yeah, it's Ryan. So you're playing him. Let's look at this. You're projected right now to beat them by 18 points. But
yeah, I was just going over my lineup. I had, I've got Debo and Darrell Henderson, and I had modifications to make that I just did in the last hour. So we'll see. We will see.
I'm looking forward to next year in that sleeper league because I got like Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins in the back end of the draft. When those guys get back, I'll be getting them for not much.
So you're the New York Mets. You're always going to be building for next year.
Yeah.
They're both made out of tissue paper, but have fun.
You've got some pretty good matchups, Sean. You should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we'll come back to this later, but I don't understand the point projections for Javonte Williams against the Lions. I don't think people have watched the Lions as much as I have. So I'm sure that'll come up later in this show.
Now he does have a wide receiver sitting in his slot that hasn't that's out. So heck, but they've already played. So I'm assuming he's locked in that. Yeah, he's screwed on that.
Yeah, he locked in Thielen. I noticed it the other day.
Wow. All right. Which could be the difference because literally he's projected to lose by 18, and that's kind of the difference. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Sean, what is your mash report? Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep the mash report quick. Trosh and I were texting back and forth yesterday, laughing about we could make this the longest segment in the history of the show, but I'm gonna try and keep it nice and concise. So players expected to play that showed up on the injury report this week: Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Taysom Hill. Alvin Kamara is back in. I can't remember the last time he played. I feel like it's been 6 weeks, but I think there was a bye in there. Jeff Wilson Jr. is expected to give it a go in that San Francisco-Cincinnati game, even though he is still banged up. Mike Williams is going to give it a go, and David Montgomery is going to give it a go tonight. Players who are definitely out: Elijah Mitchell is out, Travis Homer is out, Darren Waller is out, Calvin Ridley obviously still out, Tevin Coleman is out, Antonio Brown is humorously still out. Keenan Allen is out for the Chargers. Harrison Bryant is out for Cleveland. Daniel Jones is not cleared to play. It looks like it's either going to be Mike Glennon or Jake Fromm. Kadarius Toney still out, DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, so pretty much the entire Lions backfield. And Randall Cobb is also out for Green Bay tonight, which puts that MVS stock up a little bit because he'll see a little bit more. Just a couple of things that popped in right around that or after that within the last 24 hours. I don't know what the Dolphins are going to do. Myles Gaskin and Sylvan Ahmed are both on the reserve/COVID-19 list. So that is a little bit of something to notice. The Lions are I don't know who they're going to trot out. They've got a total of 12 players either battling the flu or on the reserve COVID-19 list. J.D. McKissick listed as questionable coming into a big game against Dallas, is not going to play. Curtis Samuel, groin injury, is expected to play. The Giants wide receivers, Kenny Galladay and Sterling Shepard, both expected to play. I don't know that matters much. Jake Fromm's throwing to him. And Deebo Samuel, who I already mentioned, is expected to play today. One defensive thing, I don't usually like to mention defensive things, but the 49ers secondary is completely ravaged. Their starting quarterbacks, Emmanuel Mosley and Dante Johnson, both not with the team. One's on injured reserve. One's not there for personal reasons. So they're going to be starting people way down the depth chart in the middle of the field against Jamar Chase and company. So that's it for the MASH report. It was a lot this week.
Actually, there is a late addition just coming in. Tony Pollard is inactive this week. He was out for pregame warmups and they pulled him off the field.
Yeesh, that's got to be COVID.
Pollard.
Yeah.
All right. So if who was that earlier this morning?
No, it's not COVID. It's foot injury related.
Oh, gotcha.
They'll still mark them off as a COVID. You got to touch us something. We're gonna get the kickback. Ball 3 R4. If you're still watching, definitely. I told you earlier, Dylan, and definitely lock in Dylan because Pollard will not play. Pam says, "Thank you for the lineups. You are welcome." Or Pamela. I don't know if you go by Pam or not. And so we get off of that and get cold and bold predictions. Bobby, I don't think we've gotten your cold and bold. What say you?
Yeah, I mentioned him in my DraftKings lineup. I got Julio Jones. He's going up against the weak Jaguars defense today with A.J. Brown still out. So I like Julio a lot this week. I like him having a big bounce back after being injured for a while. Another one, our two offenses I like today are playing against each other, the Bills and Bucks. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Bills, like I mentioned, they're going to be looking to pass the ball a lot this week after not being able to do so much last week in that cold game against the Patriots. So I like both of these offenses today. And then Tyreek Hill, he's been really one of the most on and off players in fantasy this year. And last week he had 4 points. So I'm anticipating him having a bounce-back game against the Raiders. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So I like Tyreek Hill. My busts are 49ers running backs. Mitchell and Sermon are both out. And that you'd think that would leave Jeff Wilson to be the main guy. But really, it's, when Wilson filled in, he didn't do too much. And I don't know who they're going to go to. The 49ers running back situation is always weird whenever there's injuries. They never stick to one guy. So I'm not confident in Wilson or Hasty today. I'm staying away from that. Ravens and Browns offenses, both of them, I really don't trust either of them too much. I think it's going to be a really low-scoring game, and as most of the NFC North games have been this year. So I don't like any offensive players in those matchups. And then, that's all I got for my boom and bust.
Steven, what say you?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the Cleveland offense because one of my bold predictions is from that offense. So we got Austin Hooper currently on DraftKings at 3,400. Sean mentioned it earlier. Harrison Bryant is out this week, but also David Njoku is out this week as well. Hooper is Hooper is a very big part of that offense. He doesn't have a very big target share, but that should increase this week with those two tight ends out. And one thing I love about him is he has a 24% red zone target share, which on this slate is second highest behind only Ricky Seals-Jones. So, I'm looking right below Travis Kelce only at 15%, Kittle at 14%, Jared Cook. He's a pretty well-known red zone target this year, and he's only at 10%. And then also with that Ravens defense, they have been giving up the fourth most amount of points to tight ends this year. And they faced the same Browns team 2 weeks ago and gave up six catches for 85 yards and a touchdown, 11 targets. The Browns know that I like to exploit that area. And then for my cold prediction, everyone seems to be on the Alvin Kamara train this week. But people are kind of forgetting that he really did not have much volume with Taysom Hill last year. One of the biggest.
You're kind of forgetting about a year ago, he had 6 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah, one game.
He's playing the Jets.
Oh, I know, but my point here is, if he's in your season long, you got to play him. But he is not a player I'm going to be looking to force into my lineups this week. Mostly because Taysom Hill is just such a threat in the red zone. Take away those touchdown share. I don't think he's going to have those 6 to 8 reception games that was boosting his value last year with Breeze. So just definitely play him, but don't be expecting a 25-30 point game here.
I think he's going to go off. And I mean off. Let's go ahead and do our DFS team build so that we don't run over, and then we'll go to y'all's your lineups. I don't know whose turn it is. It's Steve. Let's go to Steve.
Yeah, it's you, Trosh. I'm next week.
All right, here. So I'm going to keep it simple this week. I've been looking at a lot of places at quarterback. This has been a very
Alvin Kamara. Let's go.
A quarterback, sure. Let's if I could, hell yeah. But no, give me Dak Prescott at 6,700.
Okay.
And then for the receiver, I'm going to pay up for it is a little bit it's a much, but compared to the other options on the slate, pretty decent value. CeeDee Lamb at 7,200.
Okay. Bobby, let's go to you.
I like Julio Jones this week at 5,400. I think he's going to have a big day for that price tag. I like him against the Jaguars defense today a lot.
All right, Sean, what say you?
Well, I'd love to be the oddball and take our defense. There's really only one choice for me today, and it's the Broncos at 3,800 against a ravaged Lions team that has not played well on the road. I don't actually think they're going to get blown out, but I don't know how they're going to score any points on Denver. And, that defensive line is going to be inside Jared Goff's shirt all day. So Broncos defense, 3,800.
All right, I'm going to save us some money on tailback. Hilliard going up against the Jaguars at home. The Titans always run all over the Jaguars. I don't see where this is going to be any different. And they're coming off a bye where they can really implement it. If you've watched any of the Titans games, I said this in the first hour. If you watched any of the Titans games recently, he is by far the most explosive back they have. And so 5,300, I expect him to get in the end zone at least once, and he might get around 100 yards rushing because I kind of expect now we are going a little Titan heavy, but I kind of expect Julio Jones to be able to stretch the field, and Hilliard is an explosive back. So trying to save us money at 5,300. Steven, that turns around, goes back to you.
Throw that in there. I'm going to go just to bring it back from that.
Alvin Kamara. Let's go.
We got to drop something if we're trying to get Kamara. I'll say that. Now give me at running back Antonio Gibson. We got J.D. McKissick out this week. He is
Let's
just
go.
I think the workhorse Gibson is finally here. 6,000 is.
I'll love him every week, and every week he stinks. What is it about Antonio Gibson?
He's been having big games the last.
He's been the RB3 on average the last 2 weeks, so he's gaining steam.
Yeah,
I just always feel like he's overpriced.
The past 4 weeks, 22. He had 9, but he also had 95 yards rushing on.
I hope you're right. I'm just
26 and 22.
I just know that every time that we pick him, it always seems like. And it's been a while since we picked him, but it seems like that he always disappoints. But maybe I'm just focusing on the bad. Who's next? Bobby?
Bobby.
I had my eye on Gibson, so I like that pick that knocks that out. So I'll go with Mike Williams for 6,000 against the Giants defense. As I mentioned earlier, no Keenan Allen. I think this is Mike Williams' big. I don't know. He's been really on and off this year. He was great at the beginning of the year, but he kind of started to decline, but I really think he's going to have a big day today against the Giants.
So that's going to take it to Sean.
All right. I'm going to grab a nice little discount tight end, if you will, a little bit further down the board. He's only $3,000, and I know that some of the shine has worn off that big game he had earlier in the year, but CJ Uzomah at 3,000. I don't love San Francisco's ability to cover tight ends. I know DVOA doesn't completely support me on that because I think they're in the 20s against tight ends, but I haven't liked what I've seen when they've been forced in 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7 situations to cover the middle of the field. They've been vulnerable there, and you really saw that against Arizona. And I think that's something that Zach Taylor is going to try and do today, especially with Burrow having a busted up hand. He's going to try and get the ball out of his hands as fast as possible, which is why I don't like Jamar Chase as much today. So that saves us a lot of money. CJ Uzomah, $3,000 at home against San Francisco.
All right, I'm going to grab us one, and that'll give us more money to play with. If we want to change out Hilliard, we can. Jamison Crowder, 4,700.
Love it.
Everyone's injured. They're going to be playing from behind. PPR league. I mean, this is a good play. It gives us an extra almost $2,000, which would take us, if we took out Hilliard, the pick I had earlier.
There's one other way we can get to Kamara if you want to.
I'm cool with that.
Well, I mean, like we only need, like, if we're at 7,200 right now. I mean, I think the most obvious spot to drop would be the defense, just because we're paying top dollar for it.
You've got that, and you've also got for $100 less than Gibson. You've got Hubbard and Javonte Williams available.
I think Melvin Gordon's coming back though. No,
Melvin Gordon is coming back, and I am out on Hubbard right now. The past 4 weeks, he has been outsnapped by Amir Abdullah and outtouched. I'm not willing to pay that price. I mean, I guess just your point right there, for $100 more. Why would I do that when I can get Antonio Gibson or Saquon or Javonte Williams?
Saquon's 6,000. That's interesting. I think he's going to eat because of it's going to be check down Charlie all day long, and he has led the Giants in targets 4 consecutive weeks. I think I saw this morning. I don't really care. I mean, what do y'all think as far as how important is it to even have a dominant defense? What you could do is go down to Tennessee at 3,700
against the Jaguars. I kind of like that.
Against the Jaguars, you can do Saints 3,600. And of course, the list goes on and on and on. I don't care.
Chiefs at home against Vegas is kind of enticing a little bit further down that board just because they've looked so good the last 5 weeks. But that could also be a shootout. It just doesn't matter a lot in draft games. You're getting points more on turnovers and stuff like that than you are for points allowed. Sacks, interceptions are going to count more. But
yeah, Sorensen took one back for the Chiefs last week, so
yep,
that wouldn't be a bad bet on defense.
I'd say put the Chiefs in at 3,300, and that gives us 2,400 to play with. Does that get us to Kamara instead of Hilliard?
We need 200 more.
Oh, okay. My math was way off. That's what the problem. Seattle is at 3,100 playing Houston, and I believe David Spills is expected to play quarterback today, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a starter for the rest of the year, which is funny.
Tyrod Taylor show is over.
What's that?
Said Tyrod Taylor show is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets us exactly to Kamara if we do that. If we swap out,
like
I like it.
That he could play this week, but I think they've backstruck us. I don't know if Tyrod Taylor's definitely over for the year, but yeah.
I'm just going off of Cully. Cully had a press conference and said Davis Mills was the starter for the rest of the year, which is whatever.
Oh, he definitely put that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was in the coach's Zoom on Thursday.
He said Mills gave him the best chance to win. I think that's what he
said. They're like 27th in offensive DVOA.
Not a very high chance.
I don't know if that's true, but okay. All right, so there you have it. Prescott, Kamara, Gibson, CeeDee Lamb, Julio, Mike Williams, CJ, Crowder, and the Seahawks defense. We'll go ahead and put our name on it. All right.
That's a good lineup.
Yeah. All right. So, Bobby, let's go ahead and get your lock and your one big thing before you get out of here.
My lock, and I mentioned how I think it's going to be a low-scoring game earlier. I like Ravens-Browns under 44. these what's it called? These NFC North games or AFC North games, sorry, outside of a few Bengals games this year, really between the Ravens, Browns, and Steelers, though they've been really low scoring. So I like the under on this one. I'm pretty confident in that. Then my one big thing, I'm going to say the Cardinals this week. They're going to become the first team in the league to clinch a playoff spot this year.
Ooh, and essentially we'll have won the division because if they win tomorrow night, that division's done.
Wrap.
Yep. All right, brother.
We're predicted to be the last place, so that's pretty sweet. I'm happy with this.
Yeah. Good luck to. I'm definitely going to be locked into that one tomorrow night. So there's some Monday night games I don't care about, but that one should be a really fun one. Well, have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Yes, sir.
Bob.
You got the locks for Tones and Joey?
Yeah. Tones and Joey. Tones went Baltimore +2, and Joey got the Titans -8.5. And I went ahead and grabbed my lock at Washington +7 is what they're going at right now.
Okay.
Anytime a Cowboy coach guarantees a victory, I go, no, that's not going to happen. All right, let's go ahead and get your lineups of integrity. Steven, let's start with you.
Just getting that pulled up. So we got, once again, going my cash lineup. Quarterback, I went Josh Allen at 7,800. Running backs are Antonio Gibson at 6,000. I'm sticking with Javonte Williams at 5,900. I just thought that upside at that price is unmatched. Receivers, I got CeeDee Lamb at 7,200, DJ Moore at 6,200, and Jamison Crowder at 4,700. My tight end is Austin Hooper at 34. Flex is Mike Williams at 6,000, and then my defense is the Carolina Panthers at 2,800. I love the sack upside today.
All right. Sean, what say you?
Yeah, I'm stacking a bit of an off-the-board stack this week. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. So I've got Jimmy Garoppolo at 5,800 to go with Brandon Ayuk at 5,800 and then George Kittle at 6,900. If you don't have Kittle in fantasy, you might not have been paying enough attention that he's been roasting the league the last 4 to 6 weeks. And I don't see any reason that's going to change today, especially because the Bengals' best middle linebacker, Logan Wilson, is not expected to play today. So they have nobody to cover him. At running back, the aforementioned Antonio Gibson at 6,000 and Leonard Fournette at 7,400, who's very quietly been a top 3 running back each of the last 4 weeks. And I don't think it's getting as much attention as it should be.
He's leading the league in receptions for running backs.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Rojo's like, dude, I'm going to be a Lion next year or a Jet or something. Like he can't get out of there fast enough. Needed to save a little bit of money at my other wide receiver spot. So a couple of names further down the board. Zay Jones in Las Vegas, who's been a favored target of Derek Carr the last 4 to 5 weeks, is a real kind of field mover for them, runs great 7 routes in places where Kansas City's a little bit vulnerable on the outside. He's only $3,400. They could be down early, so they could have to chuck it a bit. And in the Jacksonville, Tennessee game, Laquan Treadwell has been Trevor Lawrence's #1 target the last 2 weeks. He's been on the field for over 70% of their offensive snaps, and he's been targeted at a higher rate than almost anybody at this point. And somebody's going to catch something in that game. Tennessee's not the defense that, I think their advanced numbers indicate that they are. I'm taking the Titans defense at 3,700 though, because I do think Jacksonville is going to have a hard time scoring today. And then Chris Godwin at 7,100 is in my flex, who I was astonished to know is wide receiver 4 in all of fantasy this year, because I don't feel like he's had a boom game this year, and he hasn't. If you look at it, he hasn't really had any crazy boom games. But I'm before last week. Sorry,
okay, yeah.
But he's wide receiver 4 in fantasy, which I couldn't believe when I looked it up in standard scoring. So that is my lineup of integrity.
Before we get into the stardom setums, just curious, let's go ahead and get your locks, and then I want to talk about a couple other picks against the spread that are interesting to y'all. So I don't know whose turn is it, but
let Sean.
Yeah, I'll go.
Take it away.
I'll go. I've had a lot of different opinions about Kyle Shanahan this year, but on the road, as a road favorite, his numbers are actually pretty good. Cincinnati's coming in real banged up. The advanced DVOA numbers on them on Cincinnati are not good, and their strength of schedule has been really low. They played a very easy schedule to this point out of division, and San Francisco has played pretty much the toughest out of division strength of schedule this year in the league. Vegas has proved me wrong so many times this year. So when they have a line that moves as much as this one has, I tend to believe them. So give me the 49ers -2 in Cincinnati because I think they're going to win comfortably.
So if you heard that, Brian, you just got a guaranteed a victory today. You're coming at Brian's Bengals early today. All right.
I'm gonna get off the show and have a 13 message thread in my DMs on Twitter because what up, man? Come on,
Steven, what say you?
This one scares me to say it just for what we saw out of Cam Newton last time, but I'm rolling Panthers at -2.5.
Yeah, do it. That's crazy. I love it. Do it.
Hey, I'm making bold calls today. I mean, he did look really bad against Miami, but that Dolphins defense and just that team in general looks night and day different from the beginning of the season. Atlanta offense, Matt Ryan is just not one, he's not the quarterback he was from a few years ago, and two, he is playing outside today. He really does well in domes, and that Carolina defense is menacing. They are going to be after him all day. He really doesn't have much to throw to. I mean, like defenses have done a really good job of shutting down Kyle Pitts. Cordell Patterson has really seen his workload kind of shrink. He's been he was outsnapped by Mike Davis last week, and he hasn't seen a target share above 12% in weeks.
Last game in Atlanta, Pitts had 2 catches for 13 yards, was only targeted 5 times. And to your point, yeah, the Panthers have a much higher pressure rate than they have sacks. They're in the backfield. They're just not bringing people down.
What's the line on Carolina?
-2.5.
-2.5. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's a solid pick. Of course, I hate saying that because, man, you've had a tough year.
It balances out from like my hot streak last year.
I swear, if you had to pick them between the Chiefs and Florida State, somehow the Seminoles would go out there and shock the world. It is unbelievable. Some of the games I'll watch.
Coach, I'm going to need you to take Georgia and Alabama on New Year's Eve just to make me feel better.
Michigan for your whole bankroll.
Please don't.
What is the line on that, by the way? Has anyone seen that recently?
6.5 or 7, I think. We're a dog for sure, but I don't remember exactly what it is.
Wow.
See if I can get it pulled up.
Michigan's getting 7.
I think Michigan's getting 7. I'm scrolling down to it.
Michigan is a 9-point underdog right now. On the book I'm looking at.
9? Wow.
They are +9. Cincinnati is 13.
No respect for the running game.
Man, I'll tell you what. I think
Michigan. It might depend on where you get it too. It's 7.5 on Caesars. I'm looking at it right now. So, but still, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wow. That is high.
The over under in that game's only 43.5, which is, I mean, for all we run the ball, we score. So.
I will say the line is +9 -115, so it's more like an 8.5 point spread.
Yeah.
Still.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's insane to think that line would be that high. I'm trying to see what it is on this site here because they normally see since they've taken it off the board for some reason. Let's see here. Right now, Cincinnati is a 13-point underdog to. Oh, here it's 7.5 on mine. Where are you finding it on 9 at 9 points?
Bet online.
Okay, might have to figure out my credentials back into that account. I mean, 9, man, that's a lot in a game that I think is gonna be really low scoring. What's the over under?
I think it was like 41 or 42.
43.5 on Caesars, which is baffling to me that it's that low.
44.5.
Yeah, that is wild. All right, let's go ahead and get into it looks like Brandon Cooks is going to play, by the way, if anyone's ready to roll the dice on that one. David
Johnson is out today on COVID though, so I mean Rex Burkhead may be worth a flyer.
Before we do start him, sit him. I didn't get a chance to do my Colton Bolden. I had a bit prepared.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is there any book where we can get odds on an assistant coach punching Urban Meyer today? Because it hasn't happened in the league in a while. Can we get it at like plus 225?
You know, I talked about this first hour. There's a groundswell here calling for Urban Meyer's head, and
I've heard
it's crazy. It's crazy to me to think that he would get fired after just one season.
I mean, for me, with what he's shown, if he's still the head coach of that team by next season, any Jaguars fan should just give up on this franchise.
But Doug Marrone was the head coach of that team for 2 years too long as well. So that's why I'm shocked. What's
he's
that?
still tenfold a better NFL head coach than Urban Meyer.
I don't know. All I know is this: they went to the AFC Championship in 17. By 18, they were junk, and he stuck around for 19 and 20. But we were worried that they were going to give him an extension. They're like, oh, God, they're never going to fire this guy. So I don't know if Shad Khan is going to give up after year one, after all that money he threw at him.
I've never seen this many leaked pieces of information out of a franchise in a long time. Like, there's something horribly wrong in the culture in that building. I don't know if it's all him. I'm not a fan of his. I've never made any secret about that, but I don't. Something's wrong in that building. It might not just be Urban Meyer.
And we've seen Adam Gase in New York, and this is like on another level of dysfunction.
It is. I'll be shocked. And the thing is, I kept thinking he was going to bolt to go to another
college.
Yeah, a big college. If he wasn't going to bolt this year, when is he going to bolt? Because you had at different points in time, Oregon, USC, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Miami, and there was a big one. Florida, LSU,
USC.
Yeah,
that's like there's like seven. There were like seven programs.
Yeah,
That he
I honestly wouldn't call Miami a big program at this point. Now, Cristobal might get that changed around, but I'm talking about a major college football program as far as like the elite. And we won't even put Oregon there at this point, but USC, Notre Dame, LSU, Oklahoma, and even you can argue Florida. Man, that is a. You normally don't see that many big name universities come up, and he didn't get mentioned in any of them. So I don't know what he would leave for, or has everyone just like lost interest in Urban Meyer because of the incidents that he had, especially the one where he was playing grabby touchy feely, you know, he was trying to play hide the pickle and he got caught on camera. All right, let's go get it started before I go down a road we can't get back from. All right, got to start too. This is a standard league. Javonte Williams, James Robinson, and Sony Michel. Steven.
I'm sitting James Robinson there. Like I'm hearing, even if Henderson's back, the Rams are going to go to a very run-heavy game plan tomorrow, and they're really liking what they've seen out of Michel.
All right, Sean. Cooper. I'm assuming this is Amari Cooper, not Cooper Kupp. Cooper, Julio Jones, Hubbard for 2 spots, and it is a standard league.
Give me the first 2 names. I'm completely aligned with Steven on Hubbard. Their offense has looked completely shot. Now, maybe Joe Nixon will be a shot in the arm, get Joe Brady out of there. Maybe his ideas just didn't work the way they did at LSU and he needed to go. But, with a new play caller, maybe it's a little bit different. I'm not putting a lot of stock in it. I would want to get burned by it first.
All right, Steven. Zach Ertz or Kyle Pitts?
Zach Ertz. Teams have figured out Kyle Pitts at this point, and he needs Ridley in this offense to take some pressure off of him.
Sean, are you going to go with? This is an interesting one. Are you going to go with Wilson, Jeff Wilson, or Godwin? That is Jeff Wilson, right? Not the other Wilson.
I think what he could be asking is Jeff Wilson and then Godwin, the running back for Detroit. He should be getting the bulk of the carries today from what I've been seeing in the past work. I can't pronounce his last name, but
yeah, it's he started as a safety. Iwabuke, I think, is his last name. Godwin Iwabuke. I actually don't think he's going to get the lion's share of the carries. It's probably going to be Jermar Jefferson. So I don't know. I would go Jeff Wilson there. Just, you know what Shanahan's going to do. He's going to try and run the ball to open up play action.
Jeff Wilson or Russell Gage, Steven? Just assume we're going back and forth, so I don't have to.
Okay. I'm gonna stick with Jeff Wilson there. Gage has been good, but I just don't like the matchup.
Mark Andrews or Zeke Elliott?
Ooh. I'm gonna go Zeke there. I like Mark Andrews today. If it's PPR, you could get warmer, but Dallas is going to try and control the ground and shorten that game up.
Half point PPR, Gordon, Wilson Jr., or Allen Robinson?
That's Melvin Gordon, I'm assuming.
I believe so, yes.
I've been doing too much basketball. Like Aaron Gordon was popping in my mind. No, give me Jeff Wilson.
Sutton or wait a minute. You can't do that. The guy's already played. Here's another one, Sean. Lockett or OBJ?
Yeah. Give me Lockett because they're playing Houston, but I mean, Houston's defense hasn't been their problem. It's been their offense. So you could get burned on both of those. I don't like OBJ against the Cardinals at all.
Here we go with one. Says my playoffs are starting now. So I'll get both y'all's take on this. So this is in a flex position and full point PPR. You've got Chuba Hubbard, AJ Dillon, James Robinson, Jamison Crowder, or Emmanuel Sanders. If you need me to rattle those off again, just let me know. So, Steven, I'll start with you. Hubbard, Dillon, Robinson, Crowder, or Emmanuel Sanders, full point PPR.
And how many? Just one?
Yeah, just one. They're trying to figure out their flex.
Give me Jamison Crowder.
Sean?
No disagreement here. I was eyeballing him earlier, and the way you broke it down was exactly what I was thinking. They're going to be behind, and everybody else is hurt in that receiving core. So I got to throw it to somebody.
All right. Sony Michel or Chuba Hubbard? Sean?
Sony Michel. I don't love him, but I like him a lot more than Hubbard.
Steven?
Sony Michel. 100 times out of 100.
Julio Jones or Jamison Crowder?
I'm going to stick Crowder.
All right. Next one up. That guy's already played. Here we go. Gibson, Connor, or Patterson? I think we know what the answer here is going to be.
Yeah, I would go Gibson. Although don't it's going to be different for DFS than it would be for fantasy. But if you got a shot at James Conner, you could have a big night. Rams have been susceptible, especially up the middle.
Steven, pick one of these. Keelan Cole, Rashad Penny, or Treadwell?
Wow.
I'm going to put Keelan Cole out of the conversation immediately. I do like the safer play is going to be Treadwell, I'd say. I have been hearing a lot of rumbling that Rashad Penny is going to get a lot of work this week against Houston. So I am definitely not opposed to taking that shot.
We've only been hearing that for 4 years, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the battle of the 2017 has-beens, but give me Laquan Treadwell.
Godwin, Jamar Chase.
Godwin. I like Jamar Chase, but he's had a tough time the last 3 weeks. If you've watched Cincinnati's games, Burrow doesn't have enough time to get him the ball deep, so he's having to do it all yak, which isn't really his thing.
Kelsey or Gronk? Steven.
Kelsey. Easy for me.
Renfro, Debo, Montgomery, Michelle, or Williams. And Sean, he's got to sit two of those. What is that, 5? So Renfro, Debo, Montgomery, Michelle, or Javonte Williams.
He's got to sit 2.
Yeah.
I would sit Renfro and Michelle. Debo, Montgomery, and Javonte Williams would be my 3 in that group.
Amari Cooper, Hunt, or Jefferson needs to pick 2.
Well, Jefferson played, I believe. Okay, Van Jefferson, my bad. So Amari Cooper, Kareem Hunt, and Van Jefferson start 2. Sit Van Jefferson there.
Wow. Robbie Anderson, Jalen Guyton, or Marvin Jones.
Pick 1.
Yeah.
Guyton could actually be a good play today with Keenan Allen out. Of those 3 options, I would roll with Guyton. The other 2 just have way too much variability.
Zeke, Higgins, Wilson, or Sony Michelle. Pick 2 of those. Zeke, Higgins, Wilson, or Michelle.
Zeke and Higgins.
Full point PPR. Ty Johnson, Crowder, or Russell Gage.
I'm going to zag a little bit. I really like Ty Johnson, actually. With all the receivers they have hurt, and if you've been forced to watch the Jets a couple times, as I have, he's actually a very promising running back. He's been out snapping pretty much everybody out of that backfield for the last 3 weeks, and he's going to catch some passes because they're going to be down.
Half point PPR, Chubb or Michelle?
I'm going to go Chubb here. I mean, I just can't. I can't sit Nick Chubb for Sony Michelle, even with the matchup.
Hilliard or Patterson?
Is that Cordarrelle Patterson?
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah.
You got to start Cordarrelle. I like Hilliard as much as you do today, and if you watch that Titans New England game, he was by far the best running back on the field that day on either side of the ball. But Patterson, come on.
Burkhead or Guyton?
I'm going to go Guyton.
Penny or MVS?
MVS. He's actually a sneaky good play. He's going to slot right into Randall Cobb's target share. And if you've paid attention to how Rodgers targets Cobb, he might not have 7 for 191, but he might have 4 for 40 and 2 touchdowns, which could win you a league.
Jefferson, Mooney, CEH, and Saquon, pick 2. That's Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson, Mooney, CEH, and Saquon.
Yeah.
We go CEH and Saquon.
Ty Johnson or Jermar Jefferson?
Gross. I hope Jermar Jefferson gets off, but it's not going to. Ty Johnson. If those are your options, go with Ty Johnson.
Julio, MVS, Ty. Excuse me. Pick 2 of these. Julio, MVS, Ty Johnson, A-Rob.
Julio, MVS. Give me MVS and Ty Johnson.
Hasty or Brian Edwards? Full PPR.
Go for a walk in the park. go have a sandwich somewhere and don't think about fantasy today. That's option 3. Yeah, Brian Edwards. If those are my choices, if it's a full point PPR, because he is on the field a lot. He's in 75% of their offensive snaps.
Cooks or Mooney?
Give me Darnell Mooney.
Cooks or Judy?
I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna say Cooks. I don't know what's up with Jerry Jeudy, but I mean Teddy's not targeting him like at all, and even against the Lions exposed secondary today, I don't know that it's suddenly going to start. Brandon Cooks is a known quantity. You know what you're going to get from him.
Judy may not go off, but I think Teddy Bridgewater is a very sneaky play in DFS today.
I just maybe, but I have a feeling they're just going to get the lead and take the air out of the ball. That is that time. So let's speed this up, and then we'll get to our one big thing. Gibson, or I believe this is Javonte Williams.
Gibson or Javonte Williams is tough for me, but I agree with you about what Denver's plan is going to be. So give me Javonte Williams, because if they go up 14-0, it's going to be the 1980 Bo Schembechler offense.
Penny or Daryl Williams?
Oh Lord, that is.
Hope playoffs ain't on the line.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, give me Daryl Williams here.
He put in parentheses because stupid Jonathan Taylor needed the day off. Oh man, is that a big drop in production?
Yeah.
Dylan or Javonte?
I know I'm putting a lot on Javonte Williams, but give me Javonte Williams again. I don't have any feeling for what's going to happen tonight.
Judy or MVS?
MVS, higher ceiling.
Shepard or Ayuk?
Yeesh. I'm going to go with Ayuk. He's due, and if you've watched their game, Shanahan's starting to really find him. So is Jimmy. So
Burrow or Cam Newton?
Oh God.
I'm gonna go Burrow. I don't love it, but I can't trust Cam to have like Burrow has a much higher ceiling. I'll say that.
All right, we'll do a couple more here. Mike Williams or Kareem Hunt?
That's kind of a toughie, but I'm still going to go with Mike Williams. I mean, the Giants are trotting out a Conference USA team today, aside from Saquon. So,
and pick 2, Connor, Montgomery, or Gronk?
Pick 2. Sit James Conner there.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the one big thing. In case y'all missed it, our locks of the day. Trosh took Carolina -2.5. Sean took the 49ers -2. Bobby is taking the under in the Cleveland-Baltimore game, 44. I'd really like to know what that weather's like. If it's windy, I don't know why.
It's actually 44 and sunny today with like a 6-mile-an-hour wind. So it's actually going to be kind of nice day.
That could get tricky. I don't know why Steven always pops in my head when Cleveland in their weather, we had to have had a game or something that we got burned on or something.
It was that. I think it was that Cleveland Arizona
Raiders?
Where it was like a 40-mile-an-hour wind, and it ended up being like I think we picked the over on it and ended up scoring like 65 points.
Was it the Raiders? I feel like it was the Raiders at Cleveland. We expected a high scoring game, and it was the finals like 9-6.
Maybe.
Yeah, that was the 30-mile-an-hour wind game from last year, I think.
That was last year.
Yeah. I thought it was the COVID year. It was like 12-9. It was like the worst game ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, oh man, if we just get 7 more touchdowns in the next 3 minutes. We'll be all right. Titans -8.5 was Joey's pick. Tones took Baltimore +2. I didn't realize that oh no, he didn't. Never mind. I thought one person took Cleveland, the other person. And I took Washington +7. So Sean, what is your one big thing that's going to happen?
My one big thing, despite all the hate I've dumped on what this game could be like today for the Lions, is the Lions have the 7th best point differential in the National Football League, despite only being 110-1. They've only been blown out once, and I don't see how they're going to get beat by 12.5 because they're going to play field position. I know exactly what Dan Campbell is going to do. This is going to be more like I think a 17-10 game. So if your heart can take it, The Lions are currently getting 12.5 on Caesars, and I've seen them around 10.5. For some reason, the line keeps going up, probably because of the number of people that they're still not sure if they're going to play because it's a late afternoon kickoff, and there's still people that are questionable with flu-like symptoms. So, but take the 12.5 because the Lions have only been blown out in one game this year, and I don't think it's going to happen again today because Denver just doesn't have the offense to do that.
Steven, what is your one big thing?
I mean, like at 1 o'clock, my eyes are going to be glued to that Raiders Chiefs game. I mean, like it's almost a 10-point spread now. It's 9.5 Kansas City, but we have seen over the past 2 years, Derek Carr and just the Raiders in general, they know how to play the Chiefs and they always play them tough. I mean, I love that. I love the Raiders plus 9.5. Not quite my lock. Just I've been burned by the Chiefs games so much this year. But I love that game in general. I think it's going to be decently high scoring. Over under is only 48, which is I think third or fourth highest on this slate. I mean, I think it's just a perfect environment for DFS. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's going to be just must watch football.
My one big thing is I think Washington's actually going to pull off the W, and it's going to get a little chokier around Dallas. You know, when you're concerned about bringing in your own benches, your bench warmers in a game that's only going to be in the 40s, that tells me, man, that
you ain't tough.
Yeah, exactly. That team ain't Boston strong, man. That's all I know. I think Washington is going to pull off the upset. Heineke's going to have a solid day. This just seems like a game where the Cowboys are going to lay an egg and lose something terrible like 13-18. And you're like, what the hell did I just watch? Well, and then tomorrow it'll all be about Stephen A. Smith, laughing about the Cowboys and all that junk. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Good luck to everyone in week 14, unless we are playing you, and we will see you next week.
Take it easy. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.